What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Bridon League. This is going to be the last game of Group D. It's actually a tiebreaker. Aspera going up against Little Busters Forever or Xantic, and well, because it is a tiebreaker, winner is going to move on to the secondary group stage. Loser is out, so pretty cut and dry there. I'm Mike Loris, going to be joined by More Rage Please for this final game, and man, hopefully it's... Actually, no, there are no more future games, so I don't really care how long this one lasts.
Yeah, definitely so, but as you mentioned, glory to the winner, and the loser goes home with nothing. Axe going to be banned out here from Aspera, so FN has run that quite a few games thus far for LB4e. They'll deny up that in somewhat of a respect ban, but also just somewhat of a strong hero. They're going to pick up the Troll Venge for themselves, so quick ability to do Roshan up against the Juggernaut, who also has that ability for LB4e, and in addition, they will have, of course, that Vengeful Spirit, who is very strong, and Troll Warlord, about 58% win rate in the last patch.
We've been seeing a lot more openings of just Vengeful Spirit, Troll Warlord. As a duo, they get the job done. You Whirling Axe after Magic Missile, and that's for sure a lot of damage. It's usually going to be enough damage to get a kill, especially when you have the minus armor on top of that, and then down the line, Troll Warlord is going to get amplified even more by the Vengeful Spirit, so a nice aggressive combination from Aspera for their first two picks, and maybe they're going to go a little bit deeper into the minus armor strategy. Who knows? Either way, on hit effects plus minus armor looking awfully appealing for their first two heroes, whereas for Little Busters, there's not as much innate synergy between these two heroes. I mean, they do okay together, but man, they're just individually very powerful heroes, and sometimes that's all you need.
Yeah, definitely so. LB4e always really favoring ZJK's Ancient Apparition. I mean, he's picked it up in probably, just throwing a stat out there, 80% of their games thus far in this Group D. He is pretty darn good. He's usually very on point with his Ice Blast, so that's something they certainly favor. Perhaps trying to deter Aspera from a Dazzle pick as well. That would synergize well already with the minus armor that is provided from the Vengeful Spirit, and there's a lot of physical damage coming out from Aspera thus far. Don't look too far for perhaps an Omni Knight pick for LB4e, although they are lacking quite a bit of disable at this point, so maybe they'll take their other support in a different direction.
Yeah, grabbing another Stunner Shaker with Ancient Apparition is a decent way to go, or they can even grab Witch Doctor if they want to. Anyone who provides a little bit of crowd control is going to be great, not only just with the Ancient Apparition to enable that cold feet, but also working well with that Juggernaut. The more the enemy team are not moving, the more damage they're going to be receiving, and the better Juggernaut is probably going to do. So look towards the crowd control heroes from Little Busters, but they don't really need anything in particular right now. Aspera, they are going to grab a Tidehunter, so it is going to be perhaps a little bit more of a minus armor strategy than we ordinarily see, as they already have the Gush and the Wave. There are always more minus armor strategies or more minus armor heroes that you could grab, but do they really want to go for the likes of TA and Slardar? I don't think they really do.
Yeah, definitely so. Tide's certainly a strong hero. As you mentioned, Aspera's band's very oriented towards those control-based heroes in the Axe and the Puck. Ember a little bit less so, but certainly very popular and powerful throughout that mid game, but either way is a little bit susceptible to physical damage, so don't know if it warranted really an Ember Spirit band here. LB4e going to take out the Slark as well as the Storm Spirit, two heroes who Omni Slash is not very good against with the Ball Lightning and the Shadow Dance, so perhaps drafting around their Juggernaut a bit in this sense. But Aspera's draft looking very strong thus far, and as you mentioned, not putting all their eggs in one basket here. We'll see what direction LB4e take their draft in with this third pick.
Yeah, right now they don't really have much to play around. I mean, you can't really play around the Tidehunter ultimate unless you want to grab someone like a Doom, which is a possibility. Grabbing Silences is probably going to be your best bet, so Scarith Mage maybe a little bit more appealing here for Little Busters. But aside from that, Troll Warlord is going to be usually perfectly fine in lane. Vengeful Spirit is a hero that you kind of have to prepare for, but there's not really any way to completely shut her down early on. So it's more so what Little Busters want to get is going to be what they want to get, and maybe they're going to hold off on their support pick, but both of these two teams are going to be looking for that secondary support, so they have an opportunity to grab it now, and really they should not be wasting that opportunity. Otherwise, Aspera get first dibs.
Yeah, definitely. So I like the Earthshaker that you called earlier. Skywrath Mage is obviously good with AA with the double magic amplification that they provide, but they would lack a lot of lockdown, and therefore I don't feel like they'll get off any impactful Mystic Flares without the likes of something like a Void, and with the Vengeful Spirit already on Aspera's lineup, and that'll probably dissuade them from going into a Skywrath Void in the next few phases. So I do expect something along the lines of an Earthshaker. Maybe we even see a Wraith King here in the support role. from LB4e. Could also even see something a little bit unorthodox, but perhaps the Ogre Magi. He's pretty tanky up against this physical damage. It is a bit of throwback combo. AA Ogre Magi, as we mentioned. Magic damage amplification is there. Chilling Touch is there. Is very nice with a Boots First Orb of Venom Ogre. So we'll see if LB4e pick that up, but they actually do opt for the Omni Knight, so something we mentioned a little bit earlier on. This does give them a bit of a lack of disable, but certainly is nice alongside the healing ward and, of course, up against the physical damage from Aspera.
Yeah, and already having the Ancient Apparition on their own team, making it so that the Omni Knight is going to guaranteed get his heals off, assuming he's not completely chain stun, which is, of course, a risk going up against the Troll Warlord, Vengeful Spirit, and to a lesser extent that Ravage. But Omni Knight in general usually played as a core role. The support Omni Knights that I've seen have been kind of underwhelming, but it is possible for sure. You just are focused more so on the pulling than anything else. It's kind of just like a jungling Omni Knight, except not fully jungle. And that's a fine way to go, but they will have magic immunity and then some. Like between the Juggernaut spin and then TP, no real way aside from Lucky Bashes. I guess there's a swap also from Aspera to deal with that, but they have that, they have Repel. They have a whole bunch of ways to just protect themselves in general in this game. They just have to get some heroes that are worth protecting. A Juggernaut is one, but you could probably do a little bit better than that moving forward. As Team Aspera, they're going to grab the Darkseer actually, so it's not necessarily going to be that minus armor mass strategy that we're thinking of. It's going to be a little bit more going in towards the team fight. This is kind of weird considering Troll Warlord usually demands some sort of synergy with right-clicking heroes. Darkseer and Tidehunter are not those heroes.
Yeah, very, very kind of odd pickup from Aspera. Perhaps it's just something they're comfortable with. They can run this out of the jungle if they opt to do so and go a little bit greedy with the Tide in the off lane, the dual lane in the safe lane, and something else in the mid. But we'll see LB4e picking up a Magnus here, so they're going to have that Empower on top of the Juggernaut, and with that base attack time, he's going to do very well in this one. It could still be a core Omni Knight, as you mentioned. They could pick up the Ogre or something like that. Empower plus Bloodlust plus a Juggernaut in the late game is very, very scary. Looks like he'll have to build into an MKB, however. Aspera gonna pick up a PA here, presumably for that mid lane, unless the Troll does go there himself.
And so Aspera, they have 4 heroes that are usually played as core, all the ones on the right side of their lineup. Vengeful Spirit, the only for sure support. Darkseer jungle, Titan jungle, all these things are possible. But either way, their lanes are going to be very punishable by Little Busters. It's not like Little Busters have the most powerful of lanes, but now with the Zeus pickup, they're going to pack a lot more of an early game punch than Aspera are. They are going pretty greedy with these heroes. Like even the junglers that they do have, whether it's Tidehunter or Darkseer, these are usually more on the slower end.
Yeah, both teams opting for greed here. The Zeus probably will go towards that mid lane, as the Omni Knight has been picked up by HeflaTV, who has been playing support for them at least for today. So we probably will see that PA Zeus matchup unless they dodge it with the Apathy going mid on that Troll, which is certainly possible, as Zeus is one of the better heroes versus PA before she gets a couple levels up in that Phantom Strike, as he does have a lot of magic damage, which she is susceptible to early on.
PA is going to probably grab a bottle and just try to weather the storm, or maybe even just grab a magic stick at level 1. Either way, Zeus's output is going to be very dangerous to the Phantom Assassin, but if she plays her cards right, probably she isn't going to die. Whereas for the Zeus, it's very easy to get overconfident versus the PA, and PA, once she hits level 6, she could just throw a dagger, Phantom Strike to you, and then in a flash, your Zeus is going to be falling. So overall, the mid lane situation should be slightly favored towards Zeus, but getting better for the Phantom Assassin over time. That is, of course, if it's going to be a Phantom Assassin versus Zeus matchup. It's possible for the Troll to go there. Hell, it's even possible for someone like the Darkseer to go in towards the mid lane, as you know, you could expect either the Zeus or Magnus. Either one would be pretty good for the Darkseer. Maybe it will actually be better if Aspera do that, because Darkseer does use the Magic Stick mana quite well.
Yeah, definitely so. So it'll be interesting to see what the laning configuration is from both sides here. Not sure that I'm too confident about an off-lane Magnus for Xantic or LB4e, but as we mentioned in the draft, both teams lacking quite a bit of lockdown here. So with that skewer, even if he catches a magic missile, he should be able to skewer away quite a distance before that lands, and should be pretty survivable.
Yeah, and that's going to be potentially mirrored by Darkseer going towards the side lane. It's not exactly as guaranteed, since you may be able to get that surge off, but if you have anyone near you, anyone body blocking you, then things are by no means guaranteed as an escape, especially down the line. Once Omni Slash comes online, then your surge is probably just going to put you in more danger, unless you're actually surging into a creep wave, which is not going to happen all too often. So the laning situation is both sides don't really have the strongest of lanes, but Xantic, even though they do have a real lack of of crowd control, they just have so much damage to make up with it that they will find themselves in situations where they will get into a man fight with Aspera and they will just come out ahead because of the raw power level of their heroes with chilling touch and whatnot.
Yeah, they definitely have a very strong laning advantage here, especially considering how greedy Aspera has gone, and that chilling touch, as well as the purification early on, should prove pretty potent up against what Aspera has to offer. We'll see if they end up putting the troll in the mid lane and giving Sharfik over to that safe lane, but Sharfik usually the mid laner for Aspera, so I do expect that PA Zeus matchup.
Alright, so that's a pretty stable matchup there, and then everyone just, pretty much the rest of the heroes just go to any random lane, as they will all perform about the same given any given any scenario, really. I don't see any huge differences there. I expect for Xantic just going to be Mag off lane, Zeus mid, and then you have a defensive tri lane there. The Omni Knight Ancient Apparition, though they are very dangerous should they be getting into fights, I don't really know if they're going to be looking for fights all that often.
Yeah.
Mostly they don't have any way of starting it off. If they had, a Sven instead of a Juggernaut or something like that, then, man, the fights would be flowing, and it would be going very well for Xantic. But instead, Juggernaut is not easily able to start those fights.
Yeah, he needs some sort of setup for sure. Wondering who you favor in the late game. Having the Empower kind of feels like it brings Xantic into relevance here. Juggernaut definitely scales more well than he used to, but up against a PA Troll Warlord, not sure how well they will be able to do, albeit if they get an Ags up on this Omni Knight. 10 seconds of GA is very powerful versus that combo.
Aspera are going to have to grab Diffusal Blades on someone, and Troll Warlord is probably a little bit better to get it on than the Phantom Assassin, though honestly neither of the two heroes would really like to purchase that Diffusal Blade. The Guardian Angel in the team fight from Xantic is extremely powerful, but then again, the team fight of Aspera is also really darn good when you're talking about a Vacuum Wall into a Ravage. When you're talking about the late game prowess of both the Phantom Assassin and the Troll Warlord, they have the battle trance synergy there. Just a whole bunch of attack speed means more crits overall, means you don't have to get that much extra damage with Phantom Assassin to actually lay into the enemies. Late game is actually kind of a toss-up. Xantic have just so many great ultimates to rely on. Maybe their cooldowns are going to be the things that screw them over the most.
Yeah, certainly GA a very long cooldown. But hopping into this one, Aspera on the Radiant side is going to have towards the offlane Metrum playing on that Tidehunter. He's usually in a support role, so perhaps we do see the Darkseer more in a core role here. Sharfik picking up the PA Vaxa on the Vengeful Spirit, the Apathy on the Troll Warlord, and finally Hakon on the Darkseer in the safe lane currently.
And for Xantic, we got Bad playing the Magnus Boots first, so he's prepared for potentially a bad matchup there. Akashi's going to be playing the mid lane Zeus, and FN, he's not really where he wants to be right now. Has spin, so he should be able to get away. And dodge a Magic Missile. Vaxa trying to bait that one out, but it's so easy to dodge a Magic Missile with the spin. You just wait until you see it in the air, then you jam the button. You're going to be fine most of the time. And he will not get the Bounty Rune, so it's not really the worst thing in the world. Over towards the top lane, ZGK is going to be playing the Ancient Apparition, and it's going to be Adjective on the Omni Knight. And I think that is actually it for Xantic. It's going to be, Tri-Lane versus Tri-Lane. The Tidehunter support, Vengeful Spirit support, a little bit minus armor with the Troll Warlord. It's not really the best tri-lane, and I don't think it's going to be enough to shove this Juggernaut out of lane convincingly.
Yeah, Tidehunter support, probably one of the more underwhelming roles, hero combos in the game, but we'll see how it pans out for Aspera.
I mean, they do have Magic Missile, and they do have a lot of minus armor, but as long as the Omni Knight isn't too far away, then they will be able to reinforce, and I mean, you have to get up pretty darn close to the Ancient Apparition if you're Troll Warlord and actually want to get that kill with the Whirling Axe's melee form. Purification is going to be a pretty useful tool here, and if not that, then Repel is also going to, block something at the very least. It will get pretty much guaranteed value. How much? That's, of course, undetermined as of right now, but the Omni Knight just has to make sure that he's not going to get too far away. To start things off, though, his pole camp is going to be warded off, so not really the best of starts for Xantic, but man, they're still going to get experience on this Juggernaut. Apathy's getting some farm as well, but the other two supports, the Avenge and Tidehunter, they're going to be hurting. They have no easy access to pulls, and if they do pull the side camp, that is very easily punishable by Xantic.
Yeah, not the best roaming combo either. Gush has a pretty nice range, so can allow Vaxa to get in range for that Magic Missile, but it is pretty obvious if they leave this lane, and leaving the Apathy alone probably will mean certain kill potential once that JK gets up a level or two on this Ancient Apparition.
And down on the bottom lane, Darkseer is just going to be doing Darkseer things. generally Darkseer versus melee heroes are going to be won by the Darkseer. There are exceptions. You got like Axes of the world, your Tide Hunters, who do pretty well versus Darkseer, but Mag is going to have to rely on his Shockwave to, start shoving out the wave just so he's not constantly hugging the tower, having to deal with 2 Ion Shell creeps. And if that is going to be the case, then the Mag is not going to have a good time. So Ion Shell is going to be really annoying, but also in the bottom lane, Akashi in a lot of trouble, actually gets Purified, but here comes the Phantom Assassin. The Blink Strike in, and Sharfik's going to draw first blood, and Zeus is going to buy out? Okay.
Yeah, a little bit odd. Little bit odd from Akashi. Maybe a bit of salt. Not sure exactly why that was, but meanwhile in the bot lane, Hakon's going to find a solo kill up onto the Magnus, and he's level 4.5 already, doing very well to the level 4 Magnus, so has found some experience himself, but certainly advantage Darkseer in this lane.
And the Ion Shells, they're going to get bigger and bigger as this lane progresses, and Mag already having died once, clearly it's possible for the Darkseer to get these kills. You just got to shove him back with these Ion Shells, and Mag has to spam Shockwave pretty much non-stop if he wants to restrict the damage output he's taking from those Ion Shells, and Darkseer's under no pressure on the bottom lane, and Sharfik already drawing first blood versus Akashi. It was technically a mid-hero getting the kill on the other mid-hero, but not in the mid lane. Regardless, Zeus is not going to be too happy about that one, as Phantom Assassin is not really a hero that you want to get fed. She will mess you up, and especially this early on when you're supposed to be the one dominating as Zeus, if you're up against Phantom Assassin who's at your level or higher, you're going to have a much more difficult time killing her off.
Yeah, Sharfik's going to find his coup de grace very soon, and he'll be able to, as you mentioned earlier in the draft, jump in onto Akashi really unabated at that point. Soul Ring's been picked up by Hakon as well, bottom, so he's allowed to spam out a lot of this Ion Shell, and with that Boots first build onto Bat, expecting that defensive tri-lane, he doesn't have much sustain to keep spamming out these shockwaves and bring down the Ion Shell creeps, so he's going to be hard-pressed to find his farm in this bot lane.
Now he has his bottle, so his shockwaves will flow a little bit more evenly, and he just really wants to go for level 6. That's when he has a chance of killing off the Darkseer, and at the very worst, it's RP as a defensive tool so that you don't outright die to an Ion Shell Darkseer that's hugging you. So Bad is going to do what he can there, but he's actually going to skewer forward into Hakon. Fortunately for him, the Surge is not available just yet, so he's going to buy himself quite a bit of time, but man, this Magnus is having such a tough time, and you can see that skewer is not something you ordinarily do, because clearly he was going to get the bounty rune anyway. That was just a little bit of tilt play, I think, from Magnus.
Yeah, it doesn't even find the damage there, I don't believe, but either way. Things looking good early on for Aspera in pretty much all 3 lanes with that early kill on the Zeus. Things looking very good. The solo kill for the Darkseer and the CS advantage to the Apathy. Barely over the Juggernaut at this point, but still one nonetheless.
Mid lane, Akashi's going to get jumped on by the Phantom Assassin. She actually popped an Invis rune and was attacking through the fade time, which it's very rare to see that, and well, it wasn't really too relevant since Bolt does just go right through that Invis, but either way, Akashi getting dropped to the health status that you see right now just off of 1 combo from the Phantom Assassin. She didn't get any crits. If she did, maybe the Zeus would be just a blood splatter on the floor by now, but Zeus, his takeaway is that I can't really get too close or too far up the lane without Sharfik spamming daggers at me and threatening to jump in. That's dangerous. Over towards top lane, FN can take a little bit of damage, but he will be fine for now. Just Gush, the wave being thrown, not really too much commitment there from Aspera, but they're keeping all of Xantic up in this top lane. FN's still getting his farm, but Troll's getting more farm.
Yeah, and the PA is starting to accrue a huge advantage mid. She will jump in onto Akashi with the Phantom Strike, going to put a lot of harass into him, but actually dropping quite low herself. Akashi looking to find something here. Lightning Bolt on cooldown for a bit. He'll throw out the Thunder God's Wrath here, but I'm not sure exactly what the point of that was.
I think it was just to cancel Sharfik's salve, and I think that's worth it. But Sharfik's going to jump right in, gets 2 crits, and Zeus is going to take a fall. Phantom Assassin, I mean, you got to have the mana there for the Zeus, and you have to have the health, and at a certain point you're going to run out of one of them, and Sharfik is going to take advantage of that. He is also going to get the 6-minute rune up towards top, so this Phantom Assassin at this point has just completely crushed the Zeus. Though Zeus is still very powerful, he's able to do a lot of damage to the Phantom Assassin, he's not able to do enough, and I don't see a way that Zeus can convincingly recover into this lane without some substantial help from his allies, and his allies don't actually have what it takes to help him out versus the Phantom Assassin.
Yeah, Bad found a DD rune bottom, so now he's picked up his level 7. RP is available to him, so he can join the fray in this top lane if he picks up a TP, and perhaps that's the comeback mechanism in this early game for Xantic, or little busters, because they are slowly but surely losing in this one. Gradual lead being generated by Aspera, about 2k in the way of net worth and experience at this point. Zeus will TP back into this mid lane, but certainly needs to be worried. Looks like Sharfik will go for a drums first build on the PA.
There's no reason to go for anything but that. You know that you're going to be having a lot of late game power, so you might as well just ease into it and, well, get as much fighting power as you can right now. And drums, just as inherently as an item as PA versus the Zeus, lets her be more aggressive versus the Zeus and worry a little bit less about her safety. She will have to worry about Bad coming in. Well, it's only a level 2 skewer though, and the odds of him landing a skewer that hits into an RP so incredibly low, even though it is nighttime. And yeah, Bad is just gonna walk into the mid lane, then walk away. Sharfik's gonna be a-okay. Once he gets this drum, then I'm pretty sure he'll just jump onto Akashi, and he won't really have many cares about what happens thereafter, because he will have so much early game power.
Yeah, definitely so, and going to be able to spam out tons of blink strikes and daggers with that extra regen as well. So jump forward just to last hit a bit. Top lane still pretty passive at this point, content to find farm are both sides, but already 13 CS advantage found by the Troll Warlords. ZJK have to be healed up here by Ajisatave, and as you mentioned earlier, Omni Knight support a little bit underwhelming, hasn't been able to get too aggressive in this one, and so far the aggressive try from Aspera certainly working out in a farm perspective.
And usually when you see Troll Warlord, you just automatically think, oh, he's a melee hero, but he's been predominantly ranged throughout this entire laning phase, and at that point you have two ranged heroes in the Venge and the Troll, with the Tidehunter melee versus pretty much just Ancient Apparition to trade hits there. So Apathy predominantly staying that range for him, and he's keeping FN at arm's length. He's not going to succeed completely just because it's a Juggernaut and he has a stout shield, and at this point a poor man's shield. He'll be able to shrug off your attacks without really too much of a care in the world, but still it's going to be enough to get the Troll Warlord some advantage in this lane. He's almost at Battle Trance level. It's not really going to be the biggest deal, Battle Trance, in this game. Phantom Assassin might take that as an opportunity to jump in towards Zeus and see what she could find there, but even with level 6 on this Troll Warlord up to the top lane, nothing's really going to change. It's level 6 on the Venge and Tide that are really going to swing this lane.
Yeah, definitely so. FN not picked up his Omni Slash either, and he's actually quite a ways behind the Troll, about 500 experience behind him at this point, so it's a great job of CS. You can see the deny disparity there. Troll with 13 and the Jug only 5 himself. So as you mentioned, that range advantage securing a bit of a farm advantage for this Troll, and Akashi does have a haste rune bottled mid lane, so shouldn't be picked off here, but perhaps Sharfik does look to go in if he finds a crit on one of these stifling daggers. Everyone postured up pretty defensively from Xantic, just doing a couple of pulls at the moment, and a healing ward going to be dropped for FN. Looks like he'll build into an early Aquila.
You might as well just, it's a very similar item build to what the Phantom Assassin's doing. Get your early game items, and they're going to try to go for the Omni Knight. Wild Axes go right in between them. Magic Missile goes towards the Ancient Apparition, but they don't really want to fight this because here comes the Zeus. Juggernaut does not have an Omni Slash, but they have so much damage either way. Troll Warlord is going to get punished, and finally Aspera make the call to go in, but unfortunately it's the call that's a little bit too early. Tidehunter not near this level 6 just yet, and there's no swap on the Vengeful Spirit. And you can reasonably expect that if you go that deep for just a kill on a hero with Omni Knight support, you're going to have to also deal with reinforcements from TPs. So Aspera kind of just dig their own grave on that one.
Yeah, and Sharfik even rotated out of lane a bit, going to find that rune as well as perhaps looking to contribute to that engagement, but did lose out on half a wave or so of farm. Either way, he'll be just fine. Midas picked up now from Hakon. And he's doing very well in the darks here. Look for him to build into some team fight oriented items. Perhaps he builds into the mech for his team. Even a blink would be very nice for that vacuum into Ravage. And he should have some good item progression coming out of this lane with a big advantage over the Magnus.
Yeah, the Hand of Midas gold is really going to stack up there, and I think he's probably going to be the only one in this game who's going to be picking up a Hand of Midas. If anyone else was, they would either have it already or have Gloves of Haste or something like that. So Darkseer with extra gold isn't really going to be, you know, the biggest deal in the world, but it still will get the job done. FN's going to get crit daggered. Now he's in a little bit of trouble. Purify is there. Will not be damaging the Phantom Assassin right now, and right now Xantic don't know that the Phantom Assassin actually has backup here. Sharfik throwing out those stifling daggers, and it's going to be on the bottom lane actually where Zeus and Mag combine up their forces, kill off the Darkseer with the use of RP. Thunder God's Wrath is there. Well, Sharfik is going to teleport down towards the bottom lane. No crits on the dagger. Bad has no skewer either, and he's also completely stuck. The wave is going to help Sharfik get the kill, and Mag is going to be an even trade down towards bottom.
Yeah, certainly pretty much an even trade, and the kill going the way of the PA. A little bit scary for Xantic there. Nice rotation from the root Zeus, but they're giving space over to Metrum in the mid lane on this Tidehunter, and now he's going to be able to find some progression towards his level 6. All the supports right now sitting at level 5, 4, and 4. Of course, the greedy pickup from Aspera does give them an experience advantage with that quad core.
Battle Trance is out. There's Apathy clearing out dual stack of Ancients, which Xantic do not have going for them right now. They don't really have any great ways of clearing that until they get Empower, and Empower is actually level 2 right now. Mag is level 10. And just not having the best time versus the Darkseer, but it's also just a 1 versus 1 matchup, the Mag versus Darkseer. So they're both going to be getting a lot of levels, and a high-level Mag can do quite a bit for your team, especially if you're the Juggernaut. Akashi over mid lane is going to get jumps, but he will be just fine. Repel, Purify, and he's going to force everyone else back. Tidehunter dropping pretty low, but Zeus, with not enough damage to actually kill anyone by himself, is going to be fine as long as he has Omni-Knight backup, and that's going to be the case for pretty much anyone. As long as the Omni-Knight is behind them, they're going to be fine, but Omni-Knight can only be in so many places at a time. It's pretty much going to be a matter of time before Aspera decide to go in with the likes of Tide and or Venge, and at a certain point, they're just going to find the kill because Omni-Knight is not there to protect whoever they're going for.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, that high-level Mag, very influential over this one. He's going to pick up his level 11 now and the Blink Dagger off the back of this medium camp here. So that'll be a very nice pickup. 13 minutes in, all things considered, is a very good timing for Bad's Magnus, despite dying twice, once solo, once to the PA. And he has found quite a bit of farm, as you mentioned, in this 1v1. Meanwhile, mid, absolutely melted, is the Omni-Knight from Sharfik. And Sharfik starting to gain a lot of momentum, 4-0-0 on this PA.
Level 2 coup de grace now, and even your Omni-Knight, who is, one of the more defensive heroes on the Xantic side, is not going to be able to withstand that. Of course, to be fair, it's a level 11 Phantom Assassin versus a level 4 Omni-Knight, so there's that. Thunder God's Wrath Ice Blast is going to kill off Phantom Assassin over in mid lane. Artillery getting the kill there for Xantic, but no one really reaping any huge benefits off of that one. But yeah, the Omni-Knight has got to be really careful. The Ancient Apparition, he's level 7, so he's a little bit more survivable, but really not by that much. If you consider the Omni-Knight's health pool and Purify Repel, they're about equal survivability, and Phantom Assassin can tear through either of them with ease. So as long as she's not getting sniped in the mid lane, Phantom Assassin is going to be pretty much a one-man kill squad. If she finds someone alone, they're going to die.
Yeah, it was nice for them to stifle her farm. She was starting to widen a considerable gap between her and FN's Juggernaut. It was 1,200 net worth at the time. She'll be down for another 10 seconds and will be able to resume her farming spree here. So FN is going to have to look to find perhaps a nice Omni Slash here to get him going. He has found that Mask of Madness, so I was going to accelerate his farm a little, but no Maelstrom or any other farming tool available to him means that Sharfik is going to continue to find momentum here.
Well, the Juggernaut's going to have Empower soon, just not yet. Sharfik up towards top, though, is going to circle around and very quickly kill off the Ancient Apparition. She gets hit by the Ice Blast on the way in. Pretty much unavoidable. Blink RP is going to catch Sharfik, secure back into the tower. There's a Phantom Strike to get her out, but she still might be in lethal range of the Ice Blast. No, she will be fine. Surged out. Here comes FN. Mask of Madness, movement speed. Can instead decide to go for the Darkseer. I think that's the better decision. The cleaving through is going to get him a little bit of farm in the process, and Darkseer is going to take a fall as Xantic rotate a whole bunch of heroes up towards top. FN still moving at near hasted movement speeds, but he will wear out that Mask of Madness right now. And well, Xantic, they have a whole bunch of heroes up towards the top lane. There's still no Ravage on Aspera. They probably shouldn't get anywhere close to this. It'll result in nothing but danger for them. But even though they may have their tower top lane being pushed, the Troll Warlord's doing that at the exact same time down towards bottom with the Battle Trance. And Aspera, they'll be able to poke at the Xantic side with those daggers. If they draw a lucky crit, maybe Phantom Assassin gets a chance to jump in.
Yeah, Repel going to be popped up onto FN here, so Sharfik probably not going to jump overzealously into this one. Ice Blast is going to fly through just in case anyone looks for the deny there, but they are going to secure the tower. It is the last hit for the Juggernaut, so 1-for-1 in off-lane tower trade going the way of either side, and 6-4 is your score for Aspera. FN, after that engagement, catching up pretty nicely to the PA, only about 500 disparity in terms of net worth, and he will be able to farm up a triple stack here with the help of that Empower.
And Tidehunter does have his Ravage now, so lots of teams, or both teams, getting lots of extra tools in order to help them fight or get them that extra bit of power so that they can fight at full effectiveness. Saw the power of RP skewer to a kind of a degree over in the top lane. Not exactly the best way to go, as it's just one target and it's the Phantom Assassin with Blur, so it's going to be hard to kill her off. But Mag has shown that off right now. Guardian Angel is up on Xantic. They are, for the most part, ready to go right now. Late game Juggernaut with the cleave of Empower is going to be a pretty large threat, but I think Xantic are, for the exact moment right now a lot more powerful than Aspera. They're going to try to jump in towards Bat, but they mess up the initiation actually. Now Omnislash with Revenge, going to kill her off in a hurry. Phantom Assassin has a haste rune, so she'll get out alive. Shockwave going to snipe her out, though. They're also going to chase forward for Hakon. Surge is going to get him out of safety, but that was a swap into a Phantom Strike onto the Phantom Assassin and not the Mag, and that just wasn't the right play. The two girls on Aspera go down.
Yeah, definitely very awkward swapping in the one hero who can skewer himself out of the engagement and also bring one of your heroes back with him. Well shot Shockwave as well at the end there by Bad. Looks like the Alpha Wolf blocked up the Phantom Assassin briefly there, but probably still would have went down to that Shockwave. They are going to jump right into the Roche Pit here, not even going to use the healing ward as it is, and with that Mask of Madness in power, they'll be able to melt this very quickly. Purification going to keep Bad healthy. He still has the RP available, but no mana to him quite yet. Wave of Terror is going to scout things out. Hakon is available here, but no Blink Dagger on him. He's building into the mech and nothing to jump into the pit. Mask of Madness popped by FN. He's got the Aegis feeling a little bit big here. Jump forward, skewer back onto Vaxa. He'll look to swap out, but be brought down very quickly. Lightning Bolt from Akashi going to finish him off there, and everyone else from Aspera going to look to back off, and wisely so. Definitely not an engagement they want to run headlong into.
And Aspera, they still have that Ravage, they still have a Vacuum. These are tools that Aspera have that can pretty much instantly win them any given fight, but you're fighting up into a Repel, and at this point Repel is level 3. Omni Knight is going to go for, in my opinion, the correct Omni Knight build, as DJ Nora is rather underwhelming. Repel is the tool that you want up against a Tidehunter, and even though they have a Blink Dagger now on Tidehunter, I don't really think it's going to be the easiest for Aspera to get in there, just because of how defensive, or the defensive possibilities of the Xantic side, especially packing that Aegis now. Juggernaut, if he gets hit by the Vacuum Ravage, he's not going to care. Yeah, he might die once, but you have to kill him twice, and that's really where the problem arises. So Aspera, they are, pretty much ready to fight, but they have to find the perfect opportunity, and it's going to be up towards top where instead Xantic are going to find the opportunity instead. There's an RP skewer out away from the Ice Blast, but it doesn't matter because the Omni Knight is there for the Purify damage, and Troll Warlord's going to take a fall very quickly, but Aspera, they're not going to let this go for free. They're looking for a Vacuum. They have Sharfik right in the front lines, but it's doing now no damage versus the Guardian Angel. Swap back onto the Omni Knight as they're once again going to jump to the Vengeful Spirit. Ravage is going to fly through, connect onto 2, Vacuum back afterwards. Purify's going to do a lot of damage, but it won't be enough as Akashi's also going to be walked down. Oh, one more hit, there it is. Turning around for Lightning Bolt did fail. Here comes FN though. Omnislash going to do a lot of damage to Hakon. Not going to snipe him with the Shockwave, but the massive movement speed of FN can do more than enough. JGK is going to awkwardly get in the middle of the fight. Will be brought down in the meantime, but FN is the real threat in here, and no one's dealing with this Juggernaut. Sharfik and Bad going to fight to the death. FN will clean up afterwards. Now going to chase forward for Vaxa. Doesn't have a Mask of Madness. If he gets a maim though, this will be the death of the Vengeful Spirit trying to ring around the tree. But that won't happen. Triple kill for FN, as he's just cleaning house right now. He is the biggest threat. Now he's going to fight with the Apathy. Mischance is there. Bastard for the Troll Warlord. FN has an Aegis, so he's not going to die here. He might actually have a chance to turn this around if he really feels baller, but he will instead decide to fall on back. I mean, Aspera, they're killing off all the easier targets, but the most dangerous target is the Juggernaut, and you have to kill him off if you want to win that fight.
Yeah, and very well played from Bad to get into the tree line there in that northwest corner. And he didn't TP out despite both his Zeus as well as his Omni Knight dying. And he waited for that engagement to draw out a little bit more, able to return back to the fray, kill off Sharfik along with FN. And as you mentioned, just letting that Juggernaut roam free. Perhaps they didn't want to fight him because they knew he had the Aegis, but allowing him to do all that damage, certainly not the better option. Now, all of a sudden, 3K, 3,500 in fact, net worth advantage for FN over Sharfik's PA.
And now FN can go for something like a Basher or anything else that he really wants. Like his Empower is now level 4, I believe. Yes, it is. So he will have a lot of extra damage. Over towards mid, Bad is going to get jumped by a Gush, but that's about it. And Mag is going to easily shrug that one off. This Juggernaut, yeah, he could go for pretty much whatever he wants. If he wants to get more survivability, he's fine to do so. I would expect, though, him to go for a Basher or an MKB with his money. Either one would just be so devastating for Aspera. They need to replicate him with the wall, which is now finally up from the Darkseer, but if they don't do that, then they have to bash him down. If they don't do that, then they're just going to die. So they need to focus this Juggernaut with someone, and it has to be a very, very concentrated effort. Otherwise, he'll just, turn around and Omni-slash you.
Yeah, still got the Aegis available here for another minute and a half or so. So Sharfik, probably not too willing to jump in, is using that Invis Ion Shell. Pretty annoying combo there to damage out Bad, but not going to find too much in the way of damage to Bad. He's going to empower up FN. They're going to take a double stack away from the Radiant side. It's a very nice pickup for them as well. And they're just beginning to choke out Aspera. Battle Trance pop top. They will bring down a tier 1. And Zeus will drop mid to Sharfik. Has popped the BKB, but it is down in a couple seconds. Skewer 4 from Bad. He'll RP up Sharfik, and this is certainly not worth the kill. Sharfik does find Omni Slashes there. FN even finding the last hit. And now this Juggernaut getting ever the more scary 5k in his pockets.
Yeah, this Phantom Assassin is going to take kills wherever she could get it, but she also saw the team for Xantic at least, go towards the north, so she thought she was fine, but the reinforcements of Magnus, I mean, he has Blink, Force Staff, and Skewer. He can cover vast amounts of distances very quickly, and Juggernaut's moving at 500-something movement speed. Yeah, he's almost at max, so he's going to get in there very quickly. Over towards mid, Skewer's going to miss on the Troll Warlord. Don't think that would have been a kill, although it would have been very close. Either way, it's still going to be a snipe on the Phantom Assassin. Trading for Zeus, worth it for Xantic in and of itself, but also it's going to give Juggernaut now an MKB. Suddenly, Whirling Axes not going to be doing that much at all, and Blur is not going to be doing anything for the PA versus the Juggernaut.
Yeah, so that's a huge pickup for FN. He'll find a haste rune. He's going to run into Hakon as well. Should be able to chop him down very quickly. Surge is there to bring him back, and he will have support Into, but he's going to be able to get off that Blade Fury and wait for his teammates to aggress. He's going to get swapped back, though. He does have the Aegis available for another second or two. Actually, it did expire. Ravage is going to go out. It's going to land onto Akashi. Anchor Smash is there as well. They will be get forced back, but he's going to fall as well to Sharfik, and that's a huge couple of pickups for Aspera. A little bit of a lack of discipline there from FN. The Aegis did expire about 10 seconds before that engagement.
Yeah, it kind of sucks, but at the same time, you're walking into a situation where you know that the enemies have answers to your spin. You're going to either get bashed or swapped, and in this case, it was you're going to get swapped. Maybe the Juggernaut just forgot about that, since it is a narrowly relevant mechanic in the grand scheme of things, but still walking into an entire 4-man party. Not really the best. Ravage was used only onto 1. I think that's probably the best thing that came out of that for Xantic. They drew out their Ravage, and they only lost the Zeus afterwards, but still, throwing away your Juggernaut like that, not exactly the play you want to make. That being said, they're still not in the worst of positions because their Juggernaut is so big. Their Ancient Apparition has Boots Aghanim Scepter. He pretty much doesn't need anything else for this entire game. The rest of Xantic, they're pretty much all going to just be supporting this Juggernaut, and if they could keep this Juggernaut alive, then they could have a chance of winning this game. But if the Juggernaut dies for whatever reason, the rest of Xantic are just going to crumble because they don't really have anything.
Yeah, and as you mentioned there, they are going to put this all in the back of FN. The Aghanims comes out for ZJK, though, and the MKB was just picked up by the Juggernaut, so it's not going to really stifle his item progression all that much. He's going to have a big stack, speaking of economy here as well, to farm up, and probably will build into that Basher. Abyssal Blade next, going to be nice up against the BKBs of Sharfik, and presumably the one that is going to come out here for the Apathy with the Missile Hammer in his stash.
Alright, so we got a whole bunch of items slowly being built up. It seems like neither side really wants to make a commitment for any sort of push, and for Aspera that really does make sense. Sharfik and the Apathy, they're farming at a decent rate, although they're vastly overwhelmed in gold by the Juggernaut. The Juggernaut is the only threat, and that's where Bashers will come into play. Either for Sharfik if he wants to go for that next, or just Troll's melee bash, whatever it's actually called, when his Berserker's Rage bash. But either one of those tools will be really great at dealing with FN until FN grabs a butterfly of his own, and it seems like Basher should be a lot more likely for the Juggernaut to pick up first, so any evasion for the Juggernaut is probably not going to come for a very long time, and that just means that this game is going to drag onwards. And Aspera, they have a Darkseer with a Hand of Midas, plus 2 heroes that get very dangerous in the late game. They're more than okay to play this waiting game.
Yeah, Daytime Vision is here for both teams. High Ground Ward on the Radiant side as well. So they do see Bad waiting here. Sharfik postured up pretty defensively. He is going to find his level 3 coup de grace very soon. If not from this Siege Creep, then from the next wave. And he will be able to do quite a bit of work in these team fights with the 9-second BKB still available. But of course, RP does go through that, so he still needs to be careful versus the Empower physical damage of this FN Juggernaut. Skewer is going to be really off the mark from Bad.
What was that?
Nothing really going to happen from that. Either way, everyone continuing to back up and farm here. And 2,200 gold on FN. The Apathy is scouted out by the wave momentarily top. So perhaps they look over to rotate, but it looks like a flank being attempted by Aspera. They've got 4 smoked up here. They will run Apathy into everyone. Ravage is at the ready. but no blink, of course, available yet. Sharfik getting chopped down by FN's Juggernaut, and the Omni Slash will be there to dodge the Ravage. He'll bring down 2. The Thunder God's Wrath will go up, bringing Hakon low. Shockwave gonna finish that off. Wall does bring down Magnus for bad, but the Apathy, the only one left. Mask of Madness now available for FN. He's gonna have to look to turn and man up or feed over his life here for the Apathy. He does have the phase boots though, is walking pretty quickly, and he's gonna look to juke things out here with the Mask of Madness expiring. Juggernaut should be just fine. The Apathy able to TP out, but either way, 4 for 1 going Xantic's way.
The Phantom Assassin tried to man fight the Juggernaut, and she is almost 7,000 gold behind the Juggernaut. Hell, if she's 7,000 gold behind anyone, I don't even know if she could take that fight, but maybe she was relying on the Darkseer Vacuum Wall to come in. Maybe she was relying on the Ravager to come out, but Juggernaut planned that Omni Slash perfectly and was able to use it, as you said, to dodge the Ravage. And at the same time as he dodged the Ravage, he pretty much killed off the Tidehunter with that Omni Slash, because it does do a crap ton of damage when you're packing that MKB and so much attack speed. So FN gonna grab a straight up BKB following that, and Aspera, their game plan is very clear still. Kill the Juggernaut, but
yeah,
how easy it is to do that it's pretty darn difficult, especially when the Juggernaut now has both a BKB and Repel. Like, magic damage isn't going to work. This Ravage and Wall combo, it's nice if it lands, but the odds of it landing are just astronomical at this point.
Yeah, and they will allow them to drop the Repel on Bat as well, so he should be able to get off reliable RPs more often than not and keep the Empower up onto FN. It also means FN doesn't have to use this Blade Fury defensively, and therefore will be able to get out his max DPS at most points during the fight. Vaksha is going to scout out the Roche Pit with a Wave of Terror, but it doesn't look like they really will be able to contest this. Hakon, no blink. He does have a Force Staff available to him, so can look for the Vacuum Steal, but there is the Repel there onto FN. Force Staff not going to work there from the Darkseer, and he'll pick up another Aegis for himself, and now he's going to look to get really aggressive with this. Does have the Omni Slash at the ready. There's the Force Staff forward. Mask of Madness phase boots. He may find Sharfik out here. He's alone, and he is dead with that MKB available to FN, and now this will sound a push. 60 seconds down is the PA without buyback.
Man, there's no way the Phantom Assassin would have survived that, but still Zeus, being Zeus, had to try to kill steal it with Thunder God's Wrath. Just classic move there. FN gonna charge forward. No BKB used. This really doesn't fear any sort of retaliation here from Aspera. Now gets repelled. Blink forward for a Skewer back. Tidehunter is going to fall in one swipe. Juggernaut probably could just camp this Troll's TP, and he will do exactly that. RP being faked right now. Magnus going to cancel that one off. Juggernaut, though, he's running in tier 3 towers. He actually just doesn't care because he has lifesteal enough to survive. He also has the Omni Knight right behind him. Aspera, they're down 2 heroes in Xantic. They're just going to push in the mid lane, or at least they should push in the mid lane with what they have going for them right now. They still have the Aegis, and they have a filthy rich Juggernaut who has a 10-second BKB charge that he's just sitting on. Aspera, they have no chance at defending this. They are just going to struggle to kill off this Juggernaut any single time in this game.
Yeah, this Magnus Juggernaut combo really needs to be denied up. I mean, they took the Troll for themselves, which is somewhat of a pick deny. The win rate combined between Troll and Jug is 74%, and their individual win rates are 54 and 58, Jug and Troll respectively. So that is a very strong combo that Aspera took away from them in the draft, but giving the Magnus over to LB4e, he has really not panned out for them. And a couple of missteps from Sharfik as well has mean this 9k gap between the Jug and the PA, and the Apathy still 6k behind as well.
Phantom Assassin, her BKB is dwelling in duration as well. 7 seconds. Oh, they're going to try to force staff in. RP onto Sharfik. Swap out from backside. He's going to get 2-shot by FN. Now going to 2-shot Hakon. They're going to try to deal with the Apathy, but Guardian Angel is there, which means literally no damage coming out from Aspera as FN's going to chase down Sharfik. He has not much of a chance to get away from here. In the meantime, Apathy going to try to run away from Zeus and Mag. He's going to put up a fight, and it might be a decent one, but he will get purified down. That's going to be a complete team wipe. FN not even losing his Aegis as he dove deep for that one. Man, when you're two-shotting people, it doesn't really matter what the enemies have. Like, even if they did get the Ravage, they're just not going to die for that stun duration, but the odds of them killing FN twice is just not going to happen. It seems like Xantic, they may have just defeated Aspera here.
Yeah, and it's almost justice will be served here, as Aspera are only in this tiebreaker because of 2 forfeits from Album Sheet as well as LC. Not that they couldn't have beaten them, but either way, LB4e certainly earning their way here, and they're definitely looking like it in this one. Very, very good day from them thus far. Looks like they will go 2-0. They get their first lane of racks here. PA still down for 20 seconds without buyback. The Apathy can buy back here, but it looks like they will be content with their spoils for now. Gonna take that lane of racks, walk off with the Aegis. Still have 2 minutes on that, so perhaps they do look to regroup here, but perhaps we'll just take this tier 2 and then look to go back and farm up the next big item for FN. He's got 6k gold though, so pretty much can buy up a full Abyssal very soon, if not now, if he pleases to go that route.
Man, he could buy up a full anything. Of course, Divine Rapier is probably the best way for Xantic to lose this game. Omnislash is the apathy, though. Manstyle is not going to do anything, as FN's going to cut through the troll. Now going to charge the rest of the heroes by himself, because why the hell not? Ravage was there, onto 4. Was a pretty good one, but there's absolutely no follow-up. FN, he's not being controlled up at all. Ice Blast is going to come in. Will not be lethal onto... Actually, no, it should be lethal onto Metrum. This is going to last a very long time, and yeah, the Tidehunter is going to shatter from this, it looks like. In the meantime, the tower is going to be focused. Man, you can have the best Ravage in the world, but if you're not actually going to follow that up with the wall combo, there's no point in that. And without the Ravage, Aspera can no longer defend. This is going to be the bottom set of racks. Still, FN has his double life. He's now up to 8,000 gold. How much gold is he going to end with, I have no idea, but he's probably capable of 3-shotting Sharpic. There it is, 4-shotting actually, with those crits. Who else is going to get some? Bad's going to try to skewer someone in. Gets swapped back into the fountain. RP's hack on the way out, though. And now the couple of crits from FN is going to blow. He's going to get the kill and stay alive with 8,800 gold in his bank account now. And Xantic don't even just beat Aspera. They embarrass Aspera. This FN Juggernaut, the only time he died was when he YOLO dove 4 heroes. Other than that, there is no answer to him.
Yeah, absolute dominance here from LB4e, looking very, very good. Completely outclassing Aspera in this one, unfortunately for them. They'll finish second, and second gets you nothing in Bridon League. Moving on to the group stage is LB4e. They're going to join the likes of Basically Unknown, BBC, and X Game in the next phase.
And just a quick thing for how that next phase actually works. The 4 winners that Rage just listed are going to be put into another bracket, and then that is just going to have another set of group play, and then we're going to create a upper and lower bracket from the next sort of mini group that forms. So Little Busters Forever, they came in with pretty much no expectations of them. I would have said that London Conspiracy were going to win the group,
right? But
it's going to be Little Busters to take it and move on.
Yeah, LC looking certainly a little bit underwhelming, so well played to LB4e.
Alright guys, that's going to be it for us today. A day full of delays, but we got there in the end. Little Busters are going to take the victory. We'll be here again tomorrow at 15 CET with BBC versus LB4e, and really just everyone's going to be playing tomorrow, so it's going to be a good day. So be sure to hit that follow button if you did enjoy the games, if you enjoyed the casting. You follow me at Mike Lors, you follow him at MRP_Dota, and of course follow HeflaTV at HeflaTV on Twitter and Facebook. The VODs will be up soon on the link in the top right of your screen, and that should be it for us today. Thanks for watching, guys. We will see you guys tomorrow.
GG, guys.